Good morning, students. Welcome to the online class for Standard 8. Today we'll do the chapter number 4, and the name of the chapter is Father Cell, which is written by R.K. Narayan. You can see the picture of R.K. Narayan here, and you have read many stories of him. Do you remember the story Tale of a Tale? Then Attila, and then another story that he was scared of staying alone. What is the name of the story in Standard 7 you had read? Hero, isn't it? A hero. So there are so many stories which you have read, and you know how beautiful the stories are. And who is the main character there? Swaminathan, isn't it? So Swaminathan is a character from his first novel, Swami and Friends. And let's know more about his life, who he is. So, what is his full name? Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayan Swami. So you can see the picture of Malgudi Days. It's another beautiful fictional story, short stories, and which was basically set in a town called Malgudi, and fictional. It's not a real one. It's a fictional South Indian town Malgudi, and the this particular story, Father's Help, it has been taken from this book. So he was born in 1906 and died in 2001, and he was an Indian writer known for his work set in the fictional South Indian town of Malgudi. He was a leading author of early Indian literature in English, along with Mulk Raj Anand and Raja Rao. So let's know something more about his life story. He was born in Madras, which is now called Chennai. Madras Presidency, British India. So before independence, he was born in the year 1906, and he died in 13th May 2001 at the age of 94, and Chennai at the same place. So what was his occupation? Writer. He was Indian, and he studied from Maharaja's College, Mysore. And what was the genre he writes in? Fiction, non-fiction, mythology, and the awards he received are Padma Vibhushan, Sahitya Academy Fellowship, and Benson Mendel. And I would like to tell you that if you have heard the name R.K. Lakshman, he was his brother, and he was a famous cartoonist in Times of India, and there was a character, the common man. So there was a small cartoon character which every day was published there with some funny things. So that cartoonist was R.K. Narayan, and his brother is R.K. Lakshman. So let's come to our chapter, Father Self. So there are some pre-reading tasks. Let's see. Have you ever experienced Monday morning blues? You had read a chapter in class 5. There was Monday morning blues where Tom Sawyer, he felt very what you can say, he was not interested to go to school. He wanted to go for fishing, and he just uh, pretended that he has pain first in his toe, and then he told about the tooth, and that aunt came, and she took away her teeth and pulled it out, and that he suffered a lot. And many people, many of you also have experienced this feeling that he don't want to get up in the Monday and want to go to school. So Monday morning blues while going to school after an enjoyable weekend. So you can share your feelings. And then second number, suppose you don't wish to go to school someday. So what you do? So you pretend to have a headache, that oh my god, it's headache, I can't go to school. Or you tell your parents that you don't have any important class. What you tell them? Oh, there are no important lessons, so that there is nothing to be taught, so nobody comes to the class. You just tell it to your parents, or you tell your parents the truth that you don't want to go, or make some other excuse. So what you do? So let's see what Swami here in the story Father Self does. So Let's read the story about Swaminathan, whose excuse for not going to school lands him into trouble. So he had no, you can see in the picture, he's holding his head. Perhaps he's having headache, but he pretends he doesn't really have that. But he gives excuses, and because of that, he's in big trouble. So let's read the story. Lying in bed, Swami realized with a shudder that it was Monday morning. It looked as though only a moment ago it had been the last period on Friday. Already Monday was here. He hoped that an earthquake would reduce the school building to dust. But that good building, Albert Mission School, had withstood similar prayers for over 100 years now. At 9 o'clock, Swami wailed, I have a headache. His mother said, why don't you go to school in a jutka? So now we came to know that the main character, Swaminathan, he woke up from bed. Uh, he just woke up, but still lying on the bed. And what he realized, shudder means with a sudden feeling. What he realized, oh, it is Monday, and it seemed that just now the last period of Friday was there, and he had Saturday, he had Sunday, he enjoyed these 2 days, and now suddenly it is Monday, so he didn't want to go to school. He felt that the school building, can you tell the name of his school? It's given in the first paragraph, begins with the A. Yes, it is Albert Mission School. And what he hoped, that the earthquake will reduce the school building to dust. And he prayed to God, oh God, that there should be some earthquake and the school building will be turned into dust, and that he won't go to school now. There won't be any school, so he will not go. He will enjoy. But what happened? So he said that school building, it has withstood, it has tolerated similar praise for over 100 years. So his school is a new one or an old school? It's an old school, very old school. So it is of over 100 years old. So but his prayers, he thought, won't work, because God will never, there won't be any earthquake, and the school building will remain like that, strong, intact. And it was at 9 o'clock, Swami wailed. What is the meaning of wailed? Cried in pain. Oh, I have a headache. So, what do you think? Really, he has? Let's see. At 9 o'clock, he cried in pain that he had a headache, and his mother came. The mother, kind hearted mother, caring mother, she came and she said that why don't you go to school in a jutka, means rickshaw, so that I may be completely dead at the end. Have you any idea what it means to be jolted in a jutka? So Swaminathan, he told the mother that, do you know how it feels to be in the jutka, and it keeps a turn. It's so, you can say, a very roller coaster kind of thing. Jolted means up and down. You will go in a jutka, and the headache will become so severe. You want me to be dead at the end of the journey? So you're telling me to go to in a rickshaw, and if I'll go in the rickshaw, what will happen? I'll be dead at the end. So generally, children, they take mother for granted, isn't it? So they just give excuses to the mother, and the mother, they believe their children sometimes, isn't it? So this time, Swami's excuse, so it perhaps walked. Let's see. Have you many important lessons today? Important. Bah. That geography teacher has been teaching the same lesson for over a year now. And we have arithmetic, which means for a whole period we are going to be bitten by the teacher. Important lessons. So Swami bluffed. Swami said to the mother that he doesn't have any important lesson. When mother inquired that do you have any, or have you any important lessons today? Is it very necessary to go? So he said, no, it's not at all, because the geography teacher will teach the same thing. He has been teaching over a year, for a year now, and the arithmetic class they have, and in that period they are going to be beaten up. And this is you're talking about some important. So no, there are no important lessons. Then mother generously suggested that Swami might stay at home. So the Swami was very happy. His excuse worked, his tricks worked, and mother allowed him to stay at home. And because he has headache, he can't go in a rickshaw. It's very full of suffering, painful, and he will be dead at the end of the journey. And there are no important lessons. So Miss Mother suggested her to stay at home. Tommy was very happy, but when the time was 9:30, at 9:30, when he ought to have been shouting in the school prayer hall, Swami was lying on the bench in mother's room. So now what happened? It was now school time, 9:30. The what would happen at that time? There will be prayer in the school. And what was Swami doing now? He was lying where? He was lying on the bench. In which room? In the mother's room. Who came now? Father. Father asked him, have you no school today? Headache, Swami replied. Nonsense, dress up and go. Headache. So, when father came into the room, he found Swami was there lying on the bench, and he inquired that he doesn't have any school that day. Swami said that he has headache, he can't go to school. He, you can see the dialogue when he talked with mother. So, do you want me to date important relations? So there are a lot of dialogues, isn't it? But when he talks to his father, there are only one word, headache. He doesn't explain it also. So it shows that perhaps he is very scared of his father. Nonsense. Dress up and go. Who said? Father said. He said, don't talk rubbish. Go and dress up and get ready for the school. He again said, headache. Father said, loaf about less on Sundays and you will be without a headache on Monday. So father got angry and he said that don't wander. Loaf means wander here and there. Don't wander here and there on Sundays and you will have no headache on Monday. So he just shouted at him. Swami knew how stubborn his father could be. Stubborn means very rude, you can say. His father could be, and change his tactics. So now he said, but thought, perhaps this excuse of headache won't work with father. He was successful, and the result was fruitful with his mother. So, but now he has to change his tactics, tricks. And he said, I can't go so late to the class. Father said, I agree, but you will have to. It is your own fault. You should have asked me before deciding to stay away. So, Swami, very, you can say timidly, he said that he can't go because he is very late to the school. But father said, it's your problem. It's your fault that you didn't tell me earlier. You had not taken permission from me to stay at home. And it's your fault. So, you have to go. He is bound to go to school. What will the teacher think if I go so late? Tell him you had a headache and so are you late. So Swami said that what the teacher will think about me that I am going so late to the school. Father said, okay, tell him that you had headache, so that's why you are late. But Swami, let's see what he said. He will beat me if I say so. So now he changed his tactics. He said that the teacher will be very strict. He will punish him for being late to school. Will he? Let's us see. What is his name? Samuel. Does he beat the boys? So now father was quite curious to know that really if the children goes late to the class, the teacher beats them, punishes them. So he wanted to know his name. And what was the name of the teacher? Samuel. And he wanted to know, does he beat the boys? Really? So, what the answer he gives, we will read next. So, what we came to know in this chapter, that Swami, he didn't want to go to school on Monday and gave an excuse to the mother that he had headache. And what's the name of the school? Albert Mission School. Is it a very new one? No, it's a very old school, 100 years old. And what wish he wanted from God? That there will be earthquake and the school will turn into dust. And then what he said to the mother? Does he have any important lesson that day? No, there are no important lessons, because the geography teacher is teaching the same thing, and arithmetic class means are going to be punished. And what was the reaction of the mother? Mother suggested him to stay. And what about father? So he just forced him. He wanted him to go to school, and he got very scornful. He shouted at him, and he told him not to loaf or wander on Sundays, so that he won't have any headache. And he forced him to go to school. And now Swami changed his tricks. He said that he can't go late to school because he will be punished. And now he found the father is very curious to know about it. And what's the name of the teacher who beats the children when they go to school late? It's Samuel. And really he beats or not, or what happens, we'll read in the next class. Till then, bye.